we'll start by babbling then. I'd like to just add my own welcome to everybody. It's really great to be here. I'm happy to be here for personal reasons as well as professional reasons. I'm a Rhode Island native myself. I come from Newport originally, actually. So I can tell you it is a beautiful town, actually. It's great. And I've just been visiting family there and enjoying the great food, so that was very nice. And it's also really good to, it's really great to be here and connect with our American colleagues for this meeting. I'm going to have to change this to mirroring. There you go. I'll move there for a second. There. Good. Okay. Yes, and so thanks very much, Johnny, for hosting us here. It's really great to be here. So I just wanted to give an overview of recent board activities. I'll begin with a little bit of information about what actually the board does, what it's for, and then talk about the things that we've been doing. Okay, so the board is comprised of representatives from the partner countries, and it's responsible for the governance of the collaboration, for creating and reviewing policies, and for providing strategic direction to the collaboration. So the representation is listed at the bottom there. There are 4 Australian board members. There's 1 Canadian, 2 Chinese, 1 Japanese, 1 New Zealand, and 1 Johnny from the US as well. I've listed there the number of partner institutions that are included for each country as well. So here are the people themselves. I've put in bold the people that are actually here today. More than half are all here. All of the Australians, Pedro from Japan is here as well. Somewhere? Oh, hi, there you are. and Johnny, of course. So we will be meeting, I'll come back to this, we'll be meeting later this week amongst the people that are here and with remotely connecting to the people that are not here in person. Okay, so just a bit about meetings. So we do meet mostly by telecom every 6 weeks. But we do meet twice per year in person. Last year was in Shanghai and Nagoya. This year our first meeting is here, of course, and later in the year in December we'll meet in Arizona. So we keep minutes and documents on a wiki. Now we're using the new wiki system that's been rolled out, which is very nice. And I'll come back to another point about the wiki in a minute, which is useful for everyone else. So one of the things that we do is keep track of the associate memberships. We've had some incoming and outgoing associate members recently. There's now 23 from a range of different countries, but interesting list, including countries that are actually collaborating countries, but actually don't have these are people that are located in different institutes that are not a partner institute, and people that have moved on to other countries as part of their career progression. And there's 1 student on the associate membership list at the moment. We also deal with external instrument proposals as well. These are instruments that are governed by MWA policy, and you can find that policy along with all the others on the MWA webpage. So we looked at those proposals, and we had 3 last year. We've had 2 so far this year. One of the major things that we do is to compose the time allocation committee, which is responsible for providing advice to the director on the quality of the proposals that are submitted for each of the observing semesters. Currently the chair is Tracy Clark, and there's 6 other tax members, and the committee is actually starting activities right now related to the review of the proposals for 2019D, which is just closed about a week ago, I think it was. And what we're doing now is looking towards succession planning, so that we have a rolling tax chair position going on from 2020 onwards. And TAC is coordinated by Adam, the principal scientist, and like I said, provides advice to Melanie, the director, in order to allocate the time on the basis of the scores that are delivered by the time. Okay, one of the things that we did last year, and I reported on this in Nagoya, was to reestablish the science review panel. And we did it this time with a very specific purpose in mind, and that was to provide input to the board for strategic decision making related to our science groups, and think about the match of the existing science teams to MWA Phase 2 capabilities, as well as giving some opinions on, looking ahead to upgrade options for the telescope as well. So the science review panel was made up of the people that are listed here. We really want to thank them wholeheartedly for their help in providing some advice and some some of their viewpoints basically on how things are going within the science collaboration of the MWA. And I'll come back to the main sort of outcome of that activity in a minute. But we did sort of most of the feedback. Well, all the feedback was very useful. Most of it we've addressed through the creation of a new policy and associated terms of reference that define what science working groups are. And I'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, so as I mentioned, we do deal with addition and changes to the policies, and you can go to the project webpage underneath the team link. There's a list of all the policies there. Last year we created and modified these two policies here. The large project policy, which was new, which describes how projects over a certain number of hours, currently 500 hours, how those projects are organized. And basically ensuring that the data products are accessible across the collaboration in a useful way in order to maximize the science output from large projects that are being run. So that includes intermediate groups, sorry. And the idea is that there will be an assessment which will be coordinated by Adam, as the principal scientist, with the input of the working group leaders to ensure that that intermediate products are indeed accessible and useful for the various science teams as associated with the large project. We also made some changes to the builders policy and the publication policy, and that was just to change the stance from opt-out authorship for builders to opt-in authorship. And that's just to reflect the ethics of the major journals now, which really require that all authors have read and acknowledged the paper before submission. And so now, as I think everybody probably knows, for Phase 2 papers, newly submitted builders have to confirm that they want to be a co-author. I think that last comment is probably not really relevant anymore. Okay, now this year we adopted a science working group policy, and as I mentioned, this was the primary outcome of the science review panel activity. There was quite a lot of input from the science review panel that indicated that they felt that the collaboration would like to see more information about why science working groups exist, how they're composed, how the leadership is selected, and what the responsibilities of science working group leaders is, and so on, a range of different information like that. And so we formed this policy that clarifies all of those issues and has an associated terms of reference, which details the expectations not only for science working group chairs, but also for members of the science working group as well. So please take a look at that. It's on the, as I said, it's on the project webpage along with all the other policies. So if you want, if you have any questions about how to join a science working group, or in fact, if you'd like to form a new one as well, there's information there about how to do that. That's not something that we want to do, regularly or frivolously, let's say. But it is an option that if there's a new science area which is identified that can be pursued with the MWA, it is indeed an option to create a new science working group to add to the list of 4 that currently exist, which are EOR, DG, SHI, and Transit. Okay, so I mentioned here that there's an ongoing policy review. The collaboration agreement for phase 2 is nearly complete and will be followed by a refreshed set of policy documents, and so that's underway in preparation. And we're also working towards the establishment of an MWA code of conduct. So there is a meeting code of conduct, as you'll all be aware, which has been attached to this meeting. There's a meeting code of conduct, and we're working towards the establishment of an overarching code of conduct, and you'll hear more about that when it's completed. Okay, I think I'm almost done now, John. So the communications, we've been glad to see the director's reports that have been going to the collaboration, and the main thing that I wanted to mention here is that we, on the basis of some feedback that we received from the collaboration, we've initiated a process of creating summaries of the individual board meetings. Those are available on the wiki. So many thanks to Sherry, who goes through the board minutes and distills them down to a digestible form. So if you follow that sort of sequence on the wiki, you'll find summaries of the last few board meetings, and then you can find what we've been discussing and the outcomes. Okay, so we have a board meeting on Friday, and the main focus there is a strategic look at finances. We have, as I said, 2 face-to-face meetings per year. One, we're sort of alternating now between sort of a strategic look at the end of the year and a financial look in the middle of the year. And the next project meeting is in Tempe in December, following the